Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hi, welcome. We're here on BuzzFeed Live.
Yeah, in an undisclosed location in a hidden bunker well beneath the city of New York.
Yes. Wait, are
Please
we
send
above
help.
the city?
It doesn't matter.
No,
Anyways.
we're fine. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We are here to answer your questions about polyamory and maybe our polyamorous triad.
Yeah.
I am Ken. I'm a writer and editor and storyteller and performer and director sometimes.
Yep. And I'm Daniel Greenwolf, and I'm a professional magician. I also co-own the Midsummer Fantasy Renaissance Fair of Ansonia, Connecticut, and I'm also a fire performer and general stupid person who does random things for money. Magic.
Sure.
And I'm Vanessa. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for the past 12 years, and I also perform as Bella Greenwolf in Daniel's show. So I also do stupid things like eat fire and jump in boxes and
Get pierced with umbrellas.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's another thing we do.
Umbrella piercing.
She puts a plastic bag around my head. It's a fun
I
day.
do.
That has nothing to do
I
with
make
the
sure
questions.
that he
Yeah.
doesn't die.
Yeah.
Do you?
That's why you should always date a nurse.
Okay, we should
do.
look at the live chat.
Yeah, let's look at live chat.
see what we
Okay,
got.
hi, live chat.
Hi,
I'm gonna-
live chat.
I
Hi,
leave
guys.
out of the question.
We're all gonna
lighting
look.
thing.
We're trying to stay
It's
in the
very
light.
tiny font.
I know,
Tiny.
we're trying to be not
It is.
Tiny.
Okay, wait. So
do y'all have kids?
we do.
Oh,
Hank.
we should
We do.
answer
We have
that right
two.
there. Oh, and that's from Beth Hank.
Hank.
Hi,
Oh,
Beth.
hi, Beth.
Beth.
We do have kids. We have two daughters. They are 7 and 8, and they're delightful, insane monsters. We love them dearly. They're very happy.
And do we want to go into that a little bit about?
I'm sure people are asking
they're
here.
probably gonna ask things. So we'll come back. But we do have two kids. Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh my goodness, I can't even see the
it's
things.
so fast. You guys type so fast.
There's so many of you.
How do you guys handle jealousy? From Hannah.
We're
We're reading so
okay,
fast.
we got one.
Hi, Hannah.
Sorry.
How are you? Thank you
Hi.
for asking. That's a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big thing we're going to be talking about in the next hour, and you'll be hearing this word a lot, and I apologize and don't apologize, is communication.
What word?
Communication.
Communication.
God damn. But we talk about communication a lot because that's what makes polyamory work. Now, for those who do not know, who are joining us and have no clue what we're talking about, polyamory is the idea that you can be in a romantic relationship with multiple people, whether it's men, women, any other gender, all in a relationship, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, whatever. That's polyamory.
There's really no one definition for
Yeah.
polyamory. It's just not monogamy.
Exactly. And so jealousy is about communication and talking through things. Vanessa, you want to
Yeah.
jump in it? About jealousy?
But I think you guys kind of covered it already. But it is a normal feeling, and it happens. And the most important thing is to not ignore it, because then it'll just get worse. So if you're feeling something that makes you uncomfortable or that isn't sitting well with you, it's the best thing to do is to talk about it and figure out why you're feeling that way.
Yeah. Related, we've got a question that comes in here. I want to hit. What's the difference between polyamory and polygamy?
Take it, English master.
All right, I'll go first. So, in the most pedantic possible way, it's a definitional difference. Polygamy is a legal term that refers to one man being married to several women, and its opposite is polyandry, which would be one woman married to several men. It's specific to marriage. Sometimes it has religious connotations. It's primarily a legal term. And of course, polyamory is a term for a type of relationship, as Danny was just eloquently saying, that is non-monogamous in any number of forms. They're very different things in a lot of different ways. It's the primary difference there.
Ethical non-monogamy. And
Yeah. Ethical.
Yeah.
What a good
Ethical,
word.
it's a key element to that,
that means no
non-monogamy.
one's having an affair, no one's cheating, no one's lying or being sneaky behind anyone else's back.
We're
Everything is
communicating
consensual
everything.
and everything is talked about.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
Do you want to take the next
I
question?
would love to.
Who's it from?
This is from Burgermeister Honkrawliness, and I know who that is. and
Hi.
I love you so much.
For doing that to him, I love you too.
I do. How do you explain to a new partner that you're polyamorous? Well, I mean, it's the same way that we talk to normal people about us being polyamorous. It's part of my conversation. These beautiful people are part of my life every day. I mean, we've been together now for 5 years, and we all live together. We all raise our 2 children together, and it's it's part of my conversation. You know this. You would know this about me before we ever went on a first date. Like
Sure.
you would be well aware of this fact because we don't keep that a secret. And in fact, it's unfortunate that there's so many people who are polyamorous who have to keep it a secret because of the shame, because of the...
We're lucky in that way anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not keeping it a secret.
No, yeah. Hi, Internet.
Hey, Internet, what's up?
Yeah.
Mothman Stan wants to know, what is one thing you wish monogamous people would stop asking you?
Go to town.
Oh, you please.
You go ahead.
I'd love to hear this one. Yes.
Me,
Yes, you. Answer
you.
the thing.
This is our lives.
Yeah.
The whole
yeah,
time.
this
Pity
is,
her
This is everything.
so much.
I think you had said it at one point before, but if you wouldn't ask a heteronormative couple the question, then don't ask it to us. If the question seems like it might be intrusive, then don't ask it. It's specifically about our sex life, how things work, and that kind of thing. You wouldn't really ask a stranger that. Don't ask us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a sideshow freak. I get it. I'm carny trash. I eat fire, I hammer nails in my face, I do magic tricks,
The
do all
good
these things.
kind.
But that part of my life isn't a sideshow, you know?
We're
that's
not a
part of my life.
novelty.
We're not a novelty. This is how we live our lives.
Right.
And I think it's really important that you show the same trust and respect to not just us, anybody who's polyamorous. You know, if you have questions, you have curiosities, there's ways to ask, and especially after you get to know them.
I mean, we're happy to talk to folks about it, obviously, and answer questions and stuff, but sometimes it helps to open with, hey, can I ask you a question? You know, and then, you know, folks are more likely to talk, so long as you're not asking for, you know, personal information and weird
intimate details.
weird things. Internet, you have disappointed me
I
in
think,
several
too,
occasions.
one thing that you and I get sometimes is there some kind of
Problem
between us in
Yeah.
our marriage? And the answer is absolutely not. We
No.
wouldn't be able to be polyamorous if there were. If
Right.
we were having trouble and communication breakdown, it just would not be a good idea to have relationships with other people.
Yeah.
Should we do the breakdown real quick so people know
Break it
what we
down.
are?
Doom.
Oh, ooh, God, you are so white.
I know.
No,
I'm just-
but I mean,
I like fishing. Dropping the...
stop. Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say drop the bass.
I
did it.
I win.
Anyways, so, Ken and Vanessa are married. They're legally married and they've been together for 10 years now.
10 years,
Yeah.
And I came into the relationship about 5 years ago. I was married at the time, and my ex-wife was actually part of it. It was a quad relationship, and then my ex-wife and I, we had problems way before the relationship started. And when you're polyamorous and you have to communicate more, when you don't communicate, it highlights it.
Right.
So if you're not good at communicating, if you're someone who's keeping some kind of a secret, or you're keeping your feelings locked up, it really shows when you're polyamorous.
It comes out in big ways, and it becomes problematic.
Yeah, and so polyamory wasn't the reason that I got divorced, but polyamory helped highlight the problems that I had in my own relationship, and we tried to work on them, but it just didn't work. And so she left the picture, and then it was just the three of us, and it's been three of us now for the last 5 years.
And Mr. Roper, obviously.
No.
No?
Nope.
Do you want to talk about Laura, maybe?
Sure, yes.
And yes.
And also, I have a girlfriend that we've been together for 2.5 years, and we love each other. She doesn't live with us. She lives on her own and has her own kids.
And she's not romantically involved
She's
with
not
us.
romantically involved with the two of them, although they're close friends.
Yeah.
And I think she's watching. So,
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. Love you. Which actually segues beautifully into another question.
Thank you,
From
Segway.
Ailin Somoza. Hi, Ailin. I think I did that right. Are you guys planning on having kids? We already do. So, and if you plan to, how would that work if one of us didn't want kids? And I'm gonna shuffle this off to Buffalo over here.
Thank you. I'm not a buffalo.
Buffalo,
I'm
Buffalo,
a
Buffalo,
ginger.
Buffalo,
That's
Buffalo,
different. No, but I actually didn't want kids when this all started. I never wanted kids. I'm 33 years old, and before these two kids came along, and I came to their lives when they were 3 and 4. And
when we were 3
when we were 3 and 4, it's
I'm very young.
Very young for his age. But no, when we were 3 and 4, and I loved them, and I fell in love with these kids. They're wonderful, and they're amazingly intelligent children, and I realized that these are the kids I wanted in my life. I don't want any more of my own. I have no urge to biologically spawn and put this into the universe. So
And we're all grateful.
yeah,
I love you.
but that's and that's where I am, and I think that it's the same thing as if you're monogamous. If one person really wants kids, one person doesn't want kids, that can be a problem. That could be something that rubs up against. I mean, just like anything that would happen in a monogamous relationship can happen in a polyamorous relationship, just more so.
It's more important. It's always important in a relationship to like be communicative, to talk to each other, and in a poly relationship, it just sort of, if you aren't doing that, it can become much more problematic, I think, in the long run, if you're not communicating that stuff well.
Yeah, we're gonna flip over just to make sure we have in the live feed. Let's go see what's on over there. And oh my God, it's so fast.
Here we go.
We look downward and we're so sorry.
Okay.
We're so very sorry. All right, so
please pick me. All right, Flame Fusion, I'll pick you. How does your relationship work? Do you each have one man or one woman? I mean, we've been talking a little bit about this.
And then more questions about things that you shouldn't ask general humans about. But let's do one other thing too. Let's make this very clear. Where we will go with sexuality is that I am pansexual. I identify as pansexual.
I identify as bisexual, and I am and have been out for 25 years, give or take.
Yep.
I look very young.
Yeah,
I also identify as pansexual, and for people who might not know what that is, it's just an attraction to the person and not specifically what sex or gender they are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us. And for Ken, he holds on to the bisexual moniker because he fought for it when he was, because you are the oldest of the three of us.
It's true, although I do look the youngest, which is nice.
I'm sorry, I was coughing.
Oh,
It's
you
coughing.
hurt yourself.
I hate
Careful
when it
now,
happens.
language.
Yep, yeah, I was very good. I was very good.
Fine, I don't look the youngest. She does, but
It's true.
the I keep the label bisexual, even though I feel the same way about my attractiveness to gender as they do.
Here's
really.
a good question. Taylor Ackers wants to know, what does your daughters think about your guys' situation? That's kind of interesting because Daniel came into our life when they were so little. They kind of don't know any different than this. They were 3 and 4 when we got together with you. So this is just normal for them.
To them, they've got a mommy and a daddy and a Danny.
Yep.
And that's who I am. And something, I don't know, just a general note, if you're polyamorous and you're trying to do something like this and you have children, do yourself a favor. Don't call the third person or the fourth person, whatever, don't call them aunts and uncles.
That's weird. I think that's weird.
I don't mean, that is very odd, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think that being honest, that this is another relationship we have. This is a parent.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
if you want it to be a parenting situation.
Yeah. If you don't want to be a parent, if you're somebody who's polyamorous and you want them just to be someone you date, that's okay too. But just, be honest with what the labels are. Communicate with your kids. Yeah. Talk to them. They're very amazing when it goes that way.
I've seen a couple of questions on what are our kids' names. And while I'm not going to tell you what their names are, I will say that they cannot be found on any type of keychain or magnet that you will find in a store.
Exactly.
That's correct.
They decided to mess up their children for life by giving them weird names.
Listen, you
way
don't
before I
need
came
customized
along.
pencils. That doesn't make you happy. It's fine.
Let's go to
My name is Daniel. I was always happy with the customized pencils.
I would never had them ever.
Alyssa The Parent wants to know, what's the most complicated thing about being poly?
Going on BuzzFeed and answering a Q&A.
No, I was actually,
No.
actually
Don't
gonna
forget to
say
send in your
scheduling.
questions, though, guys.
Oh, yeah,
You
seriously.
should see our calendars. Google Calendar is a wonderful thing.
Don't mean to pimp anything in particular. If you use iCal or
Whatever your cal is, use a shared
But yeah.
calendar.
you
There
can be
are
polyamorous. That's fine.
There's so many different things that we need to keep track
terrible.
of. Just everyone being on the same calendar makes it really easy.
Yeah. And Chrissy Williams asks, is your polyamory exclusive to your triad or is it open? How does that work for you guys? All right, thank you, Chrissy, by the way.
Thank you, Chrissy. I'll jump into that one
Go ahead,
first.
you start. Yep.
It is not. I have a girlfriend. I mentioned that before, Laura. So it's not exclusive to our triad. We go on dates occasionally with folks. We have seen other people on and off. We're not exclusive to each other, although we three are the three who live together.
Yeah.
And sort of parent together.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, that's as far as the exclusivity goes. I don't think we're looking to live with anybody else.
And we also do it. And we also, we also connect with people separately, and we might connect with people together, or they might connect with someone, or I might, Vanessa and I might connect with somebody, or separately. It's all about what we feel and how we connect.
There's a lot of freedom within the constraints of polyamory. You can build what you want to build as a relationship, however you want to build it. There's a lot of self-autonomy, but so long as you're within the boundaries that you've all have set up together of communication and honesty and all the other factors that go into relationship building.
Yeah. So, when did you first learn about polyamory?
Well, back in the Stone Age when I was a boy, I studied on the tablets.
He did. No, it wasn't like a tablet, like an iPad. Like it was actually just a stone
with
tablet.
a chisel.
It's
And
It's amazing.
wonderful.
All right, so
No, I heard about it a long time ago and was not actually a big fan of it back in the day.
Yeah, and I really didn't know much about polyamory or anything like that until we met you.
and and I was going to say that before I met them, because they were monogamous before they met me and my
Yeah.
ex-wife. My ex-wife and I, we were not polyamorous. We were just sex positive, which is a term that we use for being open sexually. And so we would have other people that we would, just be very casual and play with, but romance wasn't involved in that sense. And I grew up, I'm second generation Wiccan, for those who might be looking at this, and my parents were Wiccan, and so I went to a lot of pagan festivals. Now, my parents were monogamous. Their entire lives, they loved each other dearly until my father passed away, and they loved each other so strongly that, that wasn't where I came from, but when I went and did a lot of these pagan festivals, I saw a lot of these people who were polyamorous and all these people who were, people in their 70s who were like polyamorous and stuff.
Old hippies are awesome.
They were high
hippies.
old hippies. We love you. But the thing about that is that even after seeing people make it work, I still didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
I was so blind to it because I thought these are the rules. I'm going to get jealous. This is what it is. And the truth is that I wasn't going to get jealous because if I talk about it, then you can work through that kind of jealousy. And so that's how polyamory works, is just by talking about it. And that's how I ended up kind of coming into it myself.
This is interesting. We're in the chat. Lee Ash G is asking, how do you communicate? That's complex.
A lot, as you can
lot.
tell. We don't shut up.
The hardest, it's hard because you have to say the things that are uncomfortable sometimes, but also it's great because you get to get a lot more intimate and emotionally tied to your people that you love by sort of opening yourself up that way. So the trick is to take risks and open yourself up. That's how I think communication works.
Yeah.
So it's Cat I just ran by. How did we meet? And the way that we all met was actually.
We need to come up with a lie for this.
I know, but no, the way that we really met was that I was doing a Renaissance banquet.
Yeah, and I was invited to help out with it because I'd been in a play with a mutual friend. And
Matt and Carly. Hi, Matt and Carly.
Hi,
If you're
Matt
watching,
and
we love
Carly,
you.
we love you.
It's your fault.
I saw Marcy float by in the chat. Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Marcy. And they needed someone with a big, loud voice to come and do a thing, so they asked me to come and help.
Because you're loud.
It's true, I am.
Really
Very.
loud.
I'm often loud. Sorry.
He was wearing tights, ladies. Let me tell you. Woo! Anyways,
It was
point is,
cold.
it was in February, March. It was very cold.
So
but-
Daniel was emceeing, and I
Performing
was
stuff.
sort of loudly yelling, and after that we sort of hung out a little bit. We went to a party together, and then we all had dinner together and talked for a long time, and just sort of happened organically.
Which one?
So
What?
Cal C.
Callie C.
Callie C, what would you define as cheating? This is a great question because people really have a lot of expectations about polyamory that you can just do anything.
Oh no.
And no.
Oh no.
Cheating is anything that is done without consent. Cheating is done with consent of the partners. Anything that's done without conversation. Anything that you do without being honest about it. And this goes to anything. I mean, I can talk to people all day long. I can chat with them. If I go off and I meet somebody and I don't tell them, and I go ahead and I make out with them, then I've cheated on you. Because I didn't say anything about it. Even just a heads up. Say, hey, this is what I want to do. And that comes back to communication. We say it so often.
It doesn't rule out spur of the moment things, but
No.
but it enforces honesty and communication and trust. It's I can trust that either of them can go out either together or separately with
Here's
a
a
person and then let me know, and that's not cheating.
Yeah.
It's not
Here's
a
a
big
good
deal.
question. Bridget Ness, how do you deal with the negative comments and talk that is stereotypical of people who don't understand polygamy.
I mean, mostly
Well,
by laughing. A lot of
exactly.
it's
Well,
funny.
we
You guys
we
are
take that-
hilarious.
Hashtag don't read the comments.
Seriously.
I mean,
You just
or
gotta
laugh at the comments.
understand that it's coming from a place where people really they don't get it.
So, and we had, I mean, we did a video where over 21 million people have seen the video and of us talking about polyamory, and
Oh, there's some internet in those
there was
comments.
some internet in those comments. There are some amazing trolls.
but I will say this, and good on you, internet. It is more positive than negative.
I'm
Yeah.
really
A lot
happy
of you
about that.
people out there have been really supportive, and I hope some of you are watching and listening now, because thank you with all your loves and kind support and
Yeah.
defending us in doing
Yeah.
battle with the trolls.
Some people have jumped into the fray on our behalf, and I was like, you don't even do that.
You
And they're
do
like,
you,
no,
boo-boo.
we'll do this. I'm like, we love you. Thank
So
you.
yeah, we're gonna move here.
So 592 Ash asks,
We did this one already.
no, we didn't do it live.
Oh,
Here.
that's right, yeah.
How do you deal with privacy between each other? For instance, how do you make sure certain conversations with one partner stays between you two?
Oh, right.
And that comes back to communication. I know it's an annoying word, you're going to hear it a lot, but
Yeah.
that's,
It's the answer to a lot of these questions.
yeah, seriously.
I mean, there are times when each of us will confide in one or the other, and
I mean, to complain
just,
mostly. No.
like everyone,
I mean, that's very venting.
But there's
Venting
nothing.
matters.
I don't think there's anything that I would say to Daniel or Ken that I would be like, no, don't tell the other one. Like,
I'm Daniel.
I'm Ken.
oh, did I
Yeah,
just do that opposite?
you just did
Yeah.
that.
It's very confusing. We look
I
the
know.
same.
We look the same
We're
according to the
identical.
internet.
I know you guys are brothers.
The same.
Exactly the
But
same.
there's nothing that I would say to either of them that I wouldn't want the other to find out.
Yeah.
No,
Look, secrets are not useful largely.
No.
I mean,
And I'm a professional magician here, okay? So I understand.
Because you lie for a living.
I lie for a living. And I understand that, listen, lying in my real life it doesn't help. All right.
Yeah.
So be honest, be open. And if you need to keep if we need to keep from him what his birthday present is,
Yeah.
that's one thing. That's pretty easy. It's we don't live in like a 1-bedroom apartment where we have to stand next to each other. We don't actually sit like this all the time.
No, which
Or
kind
like
of
where
leads
the
into this
bodies are
next
buried.
Question from Shilpi Raman. Do you guys live together? Yes, we do.
we do.
Yes.
And
Yep.
we've been living together for
3 years?
4
4 years.
4 years. 4
Yeah.
years. I
Yeah.
don't do numbers.
That's fine.
I do. That's a
the
lot.
maths. The maths.
Oh, here we go. So, Charlene, have you ever, for any reason, been at all embarrassed about your relationship? Much love. Thank you for all the hearts.
all the
so
hearts to you too.
awesome hearts.
if there's anyone who's been embarrassed, it's been her by us. I think that
It's
has
true.
nothing
We're
to do with us
very
being
embarrassing.
polyamorous.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to do with poly
Yeah.
at all. We're just not very good people.
It's true.
Sometimes I just go out by myself.
It's true. It's true. And then we get to play video games up top.
Oh, so
up
much
top.
video tops
No.
up top.
Yeah.
Video games.
Oh, I saw in the chat also somebody asked if we play D&D. Not nearly as much as we'd like.
Oh,
is the
yeah.
answer there?
Yeah, we definitely look like geeks. I played a lot of role-playing games as
Yeah,
a kid. I wanted
yeah.
to.
Vampire the
We have
Masquerade.
lives. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
GURPS. All the things. Yeah, I know.
Deadlands.
I know. All right.
Deadlands is great if you haven't played it.
Yeah. So, Jinx Ruble. Jinx Ruble. I like that. I don't know why I like it, but I like it.
ooh.
So, does one feel left out at times? That's a good question.
That is
I
a
like
good
that.
question.
Sometimes, sure. There's FOMO. There's a fear of missing out for people. Everybody on the internet knows that. I don't know
Nope.
why. I'm just
I
old.
know. I didn't know
I
that one
just
until
learned
just
that
now.
now.
FOMO now.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So feel
Now I
FOMO.
felt FOMO.
You should feel it.
But
So there's that. There's I wanted to do that, but it's not really my thing. They did a cool date thing, or you're just feeling down. People feel down, and so you project that onto your partners. So yeah, sometimes you do feel left out. And I hate to beat the dead horse, but the secret of that is talk about it.
I think part of it is to just know that like sometimes you're going to be the one alone. Sometimes your partners are going to be out with other people or doing other things, and you're going to be the one home watching the kids, just with nothing to do, and just you have to be okay with that and realize that that's not all of the time. That's just maybe this time.
Yeah.
But-
And I mean,
And it's not aimed at you.
no.
Exactly. It's not anything personal or intentionally to leave you out. It's just the way the chips fell.
That's the hard part. I mean, the worst feeling of that would probably be our Netflix queue. Oh my gosh.
She's terrible taste.
These
Awful.
two if we watch something and he wanted to watch it too, that's when this all comes out.
Oh,
that's
it's
when the
true.
claws come out.
They watched things without me, and I left. I was out. It was
Yeah,
it.
you
That
know
was
what?
it.
No, that was your own fault. You know what? 'Cause
I
he's
had
not
to
home.
travel for work.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
All right.
You got caught up on the good place.
All right, let's
sorry.
move on.
Jammy jar.
Is there any advice or a way to think when being involved or even invited into a poly relationship?
Those are two very different questions.
That's true. I'm gonna start with the being invited into part. That's a really personal decision. I would say have a lot of sort of reflective skills. Be working on those things about yourself. Know who you are. Know what makes you feel insecure. Know what makes you feel threatened or jealous, because all that stuff is going to happen, especially when you're entering into a more established relationship and you don't want to feel like a lesser member. You know, so when entering into an established relationship, I think you've got to rely upon yourself a lot to be able to express your needs and absorb into a new dynamic.
And if you are that's invited, if you are involved in that, aside from just having you have to be self-assured. I mean, that's the same thing with monogamous relationships. You have to be sure of who you are as a person, and sometimes
you can change.
And you can change, and the people with you can change. It comes down to talking about it, and also being honest with yourself, because so many people aren't honest about who they are and what they need. And if you aren't honest about that, man, everything goes downhill real fast.
Yeah, self-emotional intelligence is like a really difficult upper level skill that you've got to get into pretty quickly.
This kind of leads into the next question from Smart Bunny Melo.
Great name.
Would
That's
you
quality.
recommend to other people to have a polyamorous relationship?
Ooh, that's a personal decision.
It's not for everybody, so I don't know that I would outwardly recommend, hey, you should try being poly, because it's not a cool, trendy thing to try. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you can just turn on and turn off.
Yeah.
It's something that if you feel like it might be right for you, think about it a little while, maybe a long while, and then talk with whatever existing partners you have about how they feel about it. Find other people in the community. We exist on Facebook. We exist on BuzzFeed Live, where you can send your questions into the live chat. We exist on YouTube. We exist, people exist on the internet. Find them and ask them questions. Most of the poly community, in my experience, is really open to helping.
My biggest piece of advice, and this is something I've seen before, don't ask non-polyamorous people about polyamory. Because why?
Also, don't immediately ask them about sex.
Oh, please. Just
back to the earlier thing.
Yeah.
Look, adults have sex sometimes, not always. Some people are ace.
And if exactly. And if they have kids, you're almost forced into not having sex sometimes, because kids take over your entire life.
So
and
don't
sleep
start
is better.
there.
Yeah.
That's not the hard part, or even the most complex part of polyamory.
Not even close. The hardest part's going to be talking about it. The hardest part is going to be being true to yourself.
The most interesting parts are the non-sex parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sydney Evans asks, what happens if two get into a fight? Does the other one try to sort out, and how?
Not if they want to live through it.
There you go.
No.
There's a couple of ways that we go about this. There are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a mediator, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice part, is that when you've got somebody who is in the thick of it with you, who's seen everything go down, they get to be an outside-inside perspective. So if two people are fighting and the third person looks at them and goes like, you're both acting like jackwagons, they might call that out and say, you're both acting like jackwagons.
Can you please take a breath, realize that everybody's being an idiot here, and let's talk about what's really going on, is sometimes a useful piece of information, and sometimes it gets a mug thrown at you. But that's not important.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's also a growing point where you can realize what sort of things you fight about and how to kind of tailor that in the future to not get riled up about the same thing over and over. And then I like to try to sort it out with whoever I'm arguing with instead of having a third person jump in, because
sometimes it is easier to just give the two people who are arguing some space to sort it out themselves, because a lot of times it comes around,
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But sometimes it's just a case by case thing. It's like everything else. It's such a hard thing to nail down. There's no either or answer.
Yeah. Sure.
This one's gonna be fun. Oni-chan, Thank you for asking this.
a good
Also with emojis in here, so I'm going to do my
love
best.
the
Well
emojis.
played, Oni
How
John,
did
well
your
played.
How did your parents react? Was it like, or?
And that's very good. That was
Thank
very
you.
kabuki theater. I liked that.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
you should give it another take, but this
you
time
think I should do
another take, but
All
just
right.
like give me more on the happy.
All right, more on the happy? So
Go.
like a...
There you go. That's
It needed the
creepy.
hands. I felt like it
the
needed the
hands
hands.
work.
Alright.
So
Sorry.
my parents had a lot of questions, a lot of sort of trying to find out what was going on. Was everybody okay? Way too many people asked, "Are the kids all right?"
So your
And-
parents were more like the huh?
Yeah,
Kinda
but then they evolved into,
the-
I think, the yeah. So my parents have had a lot of questions at first, but I think they're pretty supportive now and
Yeah.
feeling pretty good about it. Also, I think my mom is watching, so hi, Mom. Hi.
Hi.
So do you want to go next?
Well, my parents were pretty. My family in general is kind of split on that. Some of them are more supportive and are in the boat of, well, if you're happy, then that's what matters, and as long as nobody's getting hurt. And then the other half is like, this is. They just don't understand it and are just generally like, I don't get it. I don't want to hear about it, and that's the end. They just don't want to address it at all. It's like the elephant in the room.
Yeah, but they have to. But we all go to family functions
But we
and
do.
events, and they interact with us, and they
We're
interact
gonna be
with
there
me,
next
and-
weekend.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's
I
just the
mean-
way they do things, you know. So and then there's my family. My mom is awesome. My mom's the best mom in the history of moms that ever was
She
mom.
Yeah, but your dad is dead.
My
so
dad is dead.
It's
And by the
kind
way,
of a
anybody who was
trade-off.
like, "Ooh, he just made a dead dad." Listen, my dad. If you didn't make a joke about my dad being dead, then trust me, you aren't in my family. That's how we do things. But my mother was very, very supportive because she got 2 new grandkids to spoil, and she was
Yeah.
very happy about
Yeah,
that.
yep.
And my brothers, I've got 4 brothers, and they were all very supportive of it. Even if
One
they
of them
didn't-
is very supportive.
Very supportive.
He's
So that's weird to
What
say
do you
like
even
that.
mean?
I'm
Like
just
for
saying
that.
he's funny.
Adam, yeah, it says
Adam likes to make jokes.
Adam loves
Oh.
you.
He does.
My
he
little
loves
brother
it.
Adam, if he is watching,
Hi,
Hi,
Adam.
Adam.
loves Vanessa, and rightfully so. She's a lovely human being.
It's true.
But so my family is really awesome about it because again, we grew up. We were already weird. I was a magician from the time I was 10. My parents were Wiccan. My brothers are all various kind of denominations of atheist or agnostic. So they, we're all pretty cool about
And
it.
all geeks.
Oh, all
round-
of us.
round geeks
Painful
everywhere.
geeks. Look at
So-
this. Does this look like somebody who really knew about women growing up? No.
No.
I did though. I did. Shoot. No,
All right,
so,
this
go ahead.
this one, you go. I think you should take it.
I don't know if we.
Start
That's,
there.
I should?
This is
Okay.
this is difficult.
You're the expert in this area.
I can't.
Why?
Because
Just go
you
ahead.
bake. Go, do
Go
the
ahead.
thing.
You do better.
Ab-Dawg wants to know, do you prefer center brownies or edge brownies?
How dare you? Do you want to drive this family apart?
Choose.
Is that what's wrong with
Choose.
you?
I
Ab-Dawg?
need to know.
No.
I need to know.
refuse.
Thank you, Ab-Dawg.
Duh. Actually, I'm a center guy. I am. I like the center of the
Me
brownie.
too.
Because it's gooey
So-
and
Aw.
it's
I
Yeah,
like
center
the-
brownie.
I like the edge ones, but not the corners,
nice. Oh.
because then there's too much edge.
She likes a little edge.
Yeah,
not that
just
edgy.
right.
If you know what I mean.
Ooh, I don't know
No.
if that's a one.
I don't know if that's
I
one
don't
of them.
know.
I don't know.
Let's do another take.
Yeah, okay.
Can you do another? We'll
All
fix
right,
it
go
in
ahead.
post.
Like the edge, if you know what I mean.
Nope,
doesn't
that
work.
wasn't
No, it
it.
doesn't
That
either.
wasn't it
All
either.
right.
All right.
You want to do one more, or you
Nah,
just
I think
move
we're good
past
with
it?
two.
No,
We're
let's
two.
Move past it. All right.
All right, so
Yes, Haley Plumber, we do share a bed. We all sleep in one giant, well, not giant, but king-size bed. We would love to have the really
I mean,
giant one so
if-
that I
if-
could sleep on more than
so
10%.
BuzzFeed watchers, I'm not saying I want you to fund the big giant bed for us, but if you
Fund the
funded
big, giant bed. That
for
would be
us,
awesome. We don't know where we put it. We'll have to
it would
sleep
be-
outside,
that's
but
fine,
it'll be
but
worth
we
it.
would take it. Okay, it's thousands of dollars. Right now we
It's-
share a king size bed, and
And it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
and Vanessa sleeps in the middle, and we
She
sleep
gets
on the
85%ish.
I do.
very, 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 very edge of it.
Yeah.
That's what we sleep.
We both,
Yeah.
I like to say we both have +5 to Dex.
I think I punched you in the face last night. or
She
the night
did.
Before by
She,
accident.
Wait, that was before bed. That was
No,
oh,
she headbutted me. Like I got up at night and she got up and it just went. It was so loud in my skull. I'm surprised I'm a black eye right now. Like I'm really impressed.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Oh, anyway, so.
Oh, okay. No joking this time.
This is a good one.
This is a good one.
Ray Murray, how do I begin this with my husband of 5 years?
Well, step one, is your husband interested in this?
Have you talked to him about anything related show him this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Show him
So-
the other video we were in. Maybe.
It's
and
funny
see what
that
he
you
thinks.
say your husband of 5 years, because we were married for about 5 years when we
Yeah.
had the conversation about opening up our marriage.
We had a great,
and-
super awkward conversation. It was
It was-
pretty
it was-
good.
Yeah,
good.
it was awkward, but I don't know. 'Cause I think I brought it up, and I was
Mm-hmm.
nervous about bringing it up because I didn't want it to seem like I wasn't interested in him anymore and was just looking for a way out, because that wasn't the case at all. But
Right.
it was a conversation that was important for me to have.
And we sort of,
And
commented on some friends we knew that had and a more open relationship, and sort of began there, and then talked about, well, would we ever think about being open in that way, and progress the conversation. Well, let's learn some more about it and talk about it and that kind of thing. And sometimes having an example out there to talk about is a good place to start if you want to. But the most important thing is if you both want to do it.
All right. So we've got a question in the chat from Penina Bree Schlesinger.
Schlesinger. Hi, Panina
Hi,
Bree
Penina.
Schlesinger.
That's a good name. That's a solid name. A good, sturdy name.
It
Anyways,
is.
are you
Sturdy?
guys...
What does that even...
I don't know.
Are you guys religious at all?
If so, how is polyamory compatible with it? Thanks.
Can I go first?
You go first.
No. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the supernatural at all. So no, it doesn't conflict with my religion at all. Philosophically, in terms of ethical philosophy, I would actually put it on a very high ethical choice because it requires so much honesty and openness and respect for the other people and making sure that you don't cause them hurt. So from my end, philosophically and ethically, I think that polyamory is a very ethical choice. But no, no religion here, thanks.
I was raised Catholic.
Well, so was I. I'm a recovering Catholic. But
I don't identify specifically with being Catholic anymore. I do consider myself spiritual, and I sort of, over the years of doing a lot of research about many different religions, have sort of built my own moral compass about what I believe is right and wrong. And I think that's sort of how it plays in, because I'm not doing anything wrong in the sense of I'm not lying, I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not being deceitful. So that's sort of where it fits in for me.
Yeah. And as I mentioned before, I am second generation Wiccan. Wicca is a polytheistic religion, actually. It's a religion that has multiple deities, and it focuses primarily in nature. I am, they call us witches. That is a term that is used for us, whether you're male or female or another gender.
there's no such thing as a warlock.
Exactly.
Just
Warlock
for the
means
record.
oathbreaker, and other things too. People will argue with you on that. But
Yeah.
but nevertheless, and so with that, polyamory is actually very accepted by that, just as the LGBTQIA community is. And so it's really good for me to have that path. I could have been any religion. Thankfully, my parents, they raised us to look at all the different religions that there were that we could. You had to read the Bible. By the way, you get a chance, read through it. There's some weird stuff in there.
Crazy.
Phew, yeah.
I mean, there's some really nice stories too. I
Yeah.
appreciate some good stories. There's some great things. Also, the Psalms are wonderful poems and songs.
There you
There's
go.
some cool
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
there.
But-
It's good reading.
Yeah.
I love this question. Hi, Justin. Thank you for the question. What's positive and constructive ways that you've used to expose your kids to the healthy dynamics in polyamory?
Just living our lives, basically. I mean, we try to do our best.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing a lot of people are concerned about, the kids and how are they going to be affected in all of this. And it's just, they have one more adult for support, one more adult to love them and just be there. And I mean, we all help out with the homework and taking them to their different after school activities, and they grow up in a house with so much love that, and they see the way that we interact and the way that we work things out. If there's an argument, they see the way, we all kind of talk about things, and
learn how to
they
curse
see
at a
that we're
young
not
age.
hiding
Yeah.
anything from them.
And we also took early on, I knew that I was terrified of what I would be as a parent. I was terrified because my father was a Marine in Vietnam. My mother is a flower child. So I didn't know what kind of parent I was going to be. Was I going to be a strict person? In my house, you said yes, sir. especially if your father gave you an order. So I'm like, am I going to do that? I know that's probably not the best thing to do. What do I do? I'm also a third-degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, which is a Korean martial art, and one of our daughters takes Tang Soo Do. And she's an orange belt. She's doing amazingly.
She's quite good.
She is. And what I love about that is that you get to I get to learn along with them how to raise children. Nobody knows how to do it right. Anybody who says they know what they're doing is lying.
It's true.
Lying.
All those books, none of them are useful.
None of them are useful. You know, you try not to screw up your kid too much. That's all you can hope for. And we do that by being open and honest with our communication and loving them as much as possible. And being stern with them and having, you know, all that kind of stuff.
I saw a question go by in the chat a minute ago. I wanted to say, someone named Daniel, I'm sorry I missed your last name because it rolled past. You said that your sister is polyamorous and you asked if you should be worried. And I would say no. I would say talk to your sister and see if your sister's doing okay. If your sister's doing okay, then your sister's doing okay. And just be supportive and help out, you know, where she may or may not need it. That's what you need to do. And don't think that just because she's chosen a poly lifestyle, there's anything wrong, because it's really not a problem.
Mm-hmm. It's in fact the opposite. She's really coming into and understanding who she is, and that works for her. Doesn't have to work for you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So Raul.
Boga. Oh, Raul.
Chiriboga.
Raul.
Hi, Raul. All right.
What do you guys do on dates? What?
Figs.
No, that's it's a food joke.
It is fruit.
This
fruit
is our
jokes.
Lives. This is what we do.
I'm a master.
So amongst all these other things, I host karaoke on a regular basis, and so I do like if I do go on dates. A lot of times, the first time someone will meet me, I say, "Come to my karaoke show." And the reason,
believe me, he strikes literally out all the time on
Shut
that.
up.
It's
All
karaoke.
right.
No,
But
karaoke.
the reason why I invite them that is that it's an open area, it's a safe area for them to come to public space. Also, they might get to engage with me for a little bit and talk to me, but there's no pressure on their part to have to be facing across from me for 4 hours, you know. So
4
I like doing.
hours.
That's how long karaoke goes. So. That's something that I do, and also we do like regular stuff.
I mean, regular stuff. Go grab coffee, grab food, drinks.
I like coffee and book browsing personally.
Get to know each other.
You're
talk,
a book browser.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Coffee and book browsing is a great date. Solid choice for me. But, you know, if the people I'm dating don't want to do that, then it's probably not going to work.
If someone was at the line, if someone doesn't have any books in their home, do not have sex with them.
That's right.
That's just
Thank
the
you,
rule.
Mr. Waters. That's John Waters.
John Waters.
Okay.
Paraphrase.
We approve.
Salt and pepper.
Yes.
How do I bring up?
Salt and pepper.
I knew you were going to do that. As soon as
We're
I
John
saw that, I knew
Mulaney
you were gonna do
fans.
that.
Yes.
So if you know who John Mulaney is, look him up. Amazing comedian.
Yeah,
All right.
wonderful.
How do I bring up the topic of possibly being polyamorous with my boyfriend of 5 years? I don't want to hurt him and make him feel that he's not enough for me.
That's your first step.
Then tell him that.
Tell him that. Tell him
Say,
exactly
I don't want to
that.
hurt you or make you feel like you're not enough for me, because that's not what any of this is.
Yeah.
There's a thing as a limit to the amount you can love. So tell him that. Tell him that you love him and that you also feel love.
Polyamory is like anything else, and you got to think of it that way. If you have two parents, you love both your parents. Maybe you have step parents and you have regular parents. Maybe you love all four of those parents. Do you have more than one child? You love more than one child. Maybe you have more than one sibling. You love more than one sibling. Why is it so weird to assume that you couldn't love more than one person romantically? You know?
Yeah.
And that's where you might be able to approach it from. And when you talk to them about that, be like, I love you. I love you with all that I am. And I also want to experience this other part of my life. I want to experience this other part of who I am. I want to reach out, and I want to make those connections with other people. Because the idea, if you think of how it sounds, right? Just the term, like, you must love me and no one else.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the must. That's the thing. Like,
The idea-
you can love me and no one else.
That's a
but
choice you
yeah.
can make.
You
That's
must.
a perfectly powerful and healthy choice to make if that's the choice you want to make. But the idea of the one you get is such a dangerous idea to me, because it forces you to close off from feeling things. And generally speaking, it's not a great idea to be like, I don't feel these emotions anymore.
Which connects
Beep, boop,
nicely
beep,
into
boop.
this question. which is Carolin Bechtler.
Bechtler.
I'm sorry, Bechtler. Hi, Carolin.
Hi, Carolin.
How can you tell that you're in a healthy relationship? Well, one.
Are you scared, sad, or worried about your relationship all the time? Maybe it's time to have a conversation about it.
And do you feel like you can't talk to your significant other or others about something? Is there something that I can't bring up to them, or something big I can't bring up to them because I'm scared of how they'll react? If you're scared of how the other person will respond, then there's something going on there, and you need to look at that.
It's either you feeling something that they don't want to project onto you, which is certainly possible, or they're projecting something onto you, which is also certainly possible. So you need to have a conversation about why you don't feel like you can discuss things.
Yeah, and just, are you happy? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel loved? Do you feel that you can communicate easily?
It's a complex question with a lot of answers, and I would say talk to friends.
Talk to friends, talk to therapists, talk to all these people. There are ways you can tell outside of just the basic flags.
With your friends, have your friends expressed concern about your relationship? Because that's a big indicator.
Yep. And Derek Sheridan asks, Daniel and Ken, are you also in love with each other? Hearts, hearts, hearts. I love you. And we love you.
We love you too, Derek Sheridan. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Yes.
Yes.
We do love each other.
We do.
That's part of the thing. Like in this instance, and it's not the same for all relationships.
No.
But all three of us love each other very, very much.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And all the hearts.
Look at all these hearts. You guys are great. I lean forward again.
Question. I know. I'm trying not to, but I'm literally very, very small.
How are domestic chores distributed? Says Benja.
I don't know.
Well, distributed? Who's in the room where it needs to be done at the moment the others get annoyed about it?
Daniel always takes out the garbage.
Hey!
Actually, he takes out the garbage sometimes too.
Also
Mostly.
recycling.
Yeah.
I do the dishes. That's
all
my
do.
primary
You do
thing.
You do the
We all
dishes.
take turns doing laundry. I'm usually the one to sweep,
Yep.
clean up things, because I hate when stuff is like cluttered and messy. So I'm usually the one like organizing and.
I paint the roses red.
Yeah. We all sometimes.
We split the lawn, Daniel and I.
Because we split the lawn. I do a lawn a lot. I like doing the lawn.
Yeah, it's
personally.
nice. We got to do the leaves. By
Yeah,
the way.
we do. But anyways, and Vanessa will get up in the morning to go to work, and our schedule is very different.
Yeah.
So the kids get up at the same time as Vanessa does. So one of us will usually get up and get the kids off to school.
It depends on who is easier to wake up that morning for. Vanessa usually.
So many times it looks kind of like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shit.
I wasn't awake
you
yet.
didn't wake
I
yet.
just point.
See, I win. Go get 'em.
Pencil defeats
Go get 'em.
scissors.
Go get them. And so that's how we would
All
do
right.
it. That's how we would do it. So
yeah, that's how that works often.
What
do we got?
Philinda Solace, there's no jealousy like at all. No,
Well,
they're
see,
That's,
that's
so there's
rub.
there's a lot of different sources for jealousy. Most people think about sexual jealousy. I don't actually have a lot of that. I don't feel that in a lot of ways. Never have. I do sometimes feel time jealousy,
envy. Time
envy, which is a type of jealousy. I don't value that as a feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like that I feel it sometimes, so I have to address it by saying, hey, I feel like I'm missing this. I feel like I missed out on that or whatever, and we talk about it, and next time I get tickets to John Mulaney too. That's just an example.
Exactly. But time envy is something that is the most common, I think, with polyamory and with monogamy. Before I was ever in a polyamorous relationship, I used to role play every week at my friend's house with my brothers. There was a bunch of us there, and I was out every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to like 3 a.m. We were geeks, Maximus geeks.
I miss it.
And so I do miss it. But the thing is that I would go out and do that and come home late, and my wife at the time would get jealous of the fact that I was out. She knew I wasn't hanging around with women. She knew I wasn't spending money. She knew I wasn't drinking. She knew I was doing the most mundane thing possible because I was not there. She was envious of my time. And we'd talk about it, but it never really got solved because we talk about it and she put it aside but then would come back. And so time envy is something that exists whether you're polyamorous or monogamous. And again, it comes back to being open and honest about how you feel.
Zoe Bell, do your kids ever have issues with school, other kids, because of your relationship?
Not yet.
No, and actually we're very open about it with their schools. Their school knows.
Because sometimes one of us might have to pick them up, and so.
And actually, one of our neighbors' kids had kind of like commented to one of our daughters that, she's like, "Oh, you have 2 dads and a mom," and she's like, "Yeah, some people have 2 dads." And the little girl was like, well, I only have one dad. And my daughter was like, yeah, well, some people just have one dad, and that's okay too. So it's kind of, they act normal about it. So they don't really, it hasn't, I mean, kids can be mean, but we haven't really experienced any of that.
It's really nice how they're able to put it. They're able to put it sometimes
and
to
other
like their
kids
friends.
just understand.
Yeah.
The other kids are just like, oh, okay, cool, and that's it, because kids don't have preconceived biases. I wanna say Frenchie Diaz asks in caps, what about Christianity? Question marks and a bunch of emojis, and I will tell you.
Oh, hold on, relax. Why don't we just put it this way?
We're not Christian.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, your kink is not my kink.
That's true, and you enjoy your Christianity, and I hope you like it.
Hope that works for you. Anyways,
so we're gonna go.
So we got things I want to. There's 2 questions here I want to really jump in that I really loved. One was by Madeline Potts. Daniel, how do you feel about not being legally bound to the other people in the relationship? This is a really good question, because this is something I'm going to fight for my entire life, and I'm never going to win, and I know that. Polyamory, just now, LGBTQ and that part of our culture is just being accepted to marry one other person.
Less
now.
than 10 years.
I mean, seriously, I am not confident that I'm ever going to be able to marry them legally in my lifetime, and that bothers me so much. But I don't take it out on them. I don't take it out on us. I'm upset at the system. The system is flawed. Because religion shouldn't tell you who you can marry. The law shouldn't tell you who you can marry. If they are consenting adults,
You should be able to write out a contract.
you should be able to write out a legal contract between as many people as you want, and that's what it is. And
no other contracts are limited to one-on-one things.
Yeah.
I can start a corporation with anybody I want. Yeah. So like it's a whole nother debate that I don't think we should go off on too long.
But that is my
it's
fight.
Stupid.
That's my fight, and that's my advocacy.
Myka Westbrook asks, please pick difference between this and open relationship.
All right.
It's shades of gray, I think.
Whoa, watch that term now.
There's a spectrum.
There's not.
Not that shades of gray. Yeah. That's garbage. I'm not even going to talk about it.
No.
Sorry, garbage.
Sorry, yeah. But the difference is that polyamory can be closed. In that, there can be 3 people that are in a relationship together that don't decide to date other people. So it can be closed there. Or there can be 2 couples that are all polyamorous together and decide not to date other people. So in that sense, it's closed. Or
you can be single polyamorous, and you're dating other people in sort of non-defined ways all the time. There's a lot of different ways to be open or closed or any version of any of that. So it's one of the things I like about poly is it's sort of choose your own adventure relationshiping.
Yeah. Jeremy asks, how did you know that you were polyamorous? I'm questioning.
I didn't know that I was polyamorous until I got hit with feelings unexpectedly.
Gingers can do that to you. Sorry. I'm sorry, Internet. That's cool.
That's okay. We love gingers.
That's
we
true.
do. Gingers are magic.
We're almost like people. Gingers are magic. All right, so.
I didn't really know until I had an opportunity to experience it. And I think, how would you know if you're polyamorous or not? I think that's just a lot of self-reflection and what you feel that you're capable of, what you feel that you want to do for you.
And also, I mean, a good couple of ideas is that, one, do you feel like you are, that if you, the idea of being with one person for the rest of your life, just one person, does that excite you? Or is that something where you're like, I don't know.
I'm going to have to endure that.
I'm going to have to endure that.
Or if you don't know the answer to that, try some things out.
Yeah.
Learn those things for yourself.
No one gets to define you.
Yeah. You get to make all those decisions for yourself, which leads us to Miss LaBelleKitty. That's adorable.
I like
Miss LaBelleKitty. Is there a coming out process to your close ones? How do you discuss consent?
Those are 2 different questions.
Those are two different questions.
Let's get the first one.
So, okay, I'll jump on this. Sure. So coming out is something that I've done a couple of times. And I was quite young. I was in my mid-teens when I came out as bisexual. That was a challenging time for me. And so when we sort of came out as polyamorous, it wasn't that hard for me. I sort of had gone through a tough period of coming out, and so I was able to say, here I am, folks, take it or leave it, like it or don't, and I don't care what you have to say about it, mostly. And that was what I was able to do because I'd already been through the earlier experience, and had sort of learned to be thick-skinned about people who weren't going to accept what we decided to do.
Yeah.
And I just, started by telling some close friends that, I've had for years, and I kind of knew that they would be accepting of it and supportive, even if they didn't necessarily understand what it was. And just, it kind of happened naturally. The more people I told, it kind of just got out, and then...
Yeah, I mean...
And
And the internet being what it is, and us being us.
Yeah, I'm just not quiet. I've never been a quiet person. I know, right? And honestly, I'm pretty sure most people assumed I was gay anyway. So, in fact, this
isn't helping.
This isn't helping at all. But, I just came out kind of all at once that I'm polyamorous and that I'm pansexual and, and if you accept it as part of who you are, people should accept it as who you are as well. And if they don't, what does that say about them? Not what does that say about you?
Right?
And speaking of which...
I don't want to brush past the second part of that question, which is about consent. Consent is critical, and for me, there's a lot of different ways that people talk about consent, but for me it's very, very simple. Enthusiastic consent means that they want it and they've said it clearly in terms of no matter what. It's not just about sex. It's about hugs. It's about doing activities. It's about everything.
Yeah.
If people want it, you need to ask and be very clear that they've said, great. Yeah. And that's true in just about everything you do with other people.
Every step of the way, yes. If at any point
better than yes
feel,
is please.
Please, yeah. If they don't want it at any point, you stop. And that just
find something else to do.
We don't just consider that for like our private lives. We also consider that like even our kids.
Our kids don't have to hug people if they don't want to.
We don't be like, go hug grandma. Like we don't do that stuff.
I mean, he talks like that usually.
Yeah, usually. I look like I'm like a like a big
weird salty
Hollywood
pirate
executive from the 20s. All right, kids, you want to? But no, hey, I didn't go there. But we don't try to enforce. We try to enforce that consent matters. Their body is their property. And we try to do that with anybody that we're with or anybody that we connect with.
Consent is critical.
Necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only thing. All right. So
Courtney Lang.
This
is a good one. This is tough.
I'd like to be in a poly relationship, but I'm terrified that others will leave me because they like each other more, that I won't be good enough for them. Do you have any advice?
I like your sunflowers, Courtney.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm going to do the thing that seems like it's just like patronizing, but you are good enough. Courtney, I never met you, but you are good enough. And if you're with people that don't think you're good,
then don't be with them.
They weren't good enough for you. Those are people that you deserve, people who love you for who you are equally.
That you can trust and that trust you.
Absolutely.
And that's important to remember about yourself.
Yeah.
And you can talk to them honestly, and even if the outcome is not what you were hoping it was going to be, that's important. The important thing is to know what's going on, not to wonder and stay in a place where you're not safe and not trusted and don't feel good. If that's the case. If it's the other thing, and I think the other thing is probably more likely, you're probably a great person who chose great people, then you win because now you get to be honest and open and out there.
Yeah. And you can always try again. Remember, you're not dead, so you're not done. You can always try again.
You're not dead, are you?
If you are you a zombie?
Ooh,
zombies. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Anyways, Courtney.
Sorry, we got sidetracked.
All right.
We did that a lot.
20 Paphonies. Do you have any tips for handling negative/hateful reactions to your relationship? I mostly do my best not to feed the trolls and not to jump in, but when I do, it's fun. But mostly don't. Mostly ignore them. Don't attempt to enjoy yourself in that way. It's a little bit like volcano surfing.
Yeah.
You're probably going to die, but if you survive, you've had quite a thrill.
Now that's the
Ivana asked a question. How do you find other poly people?
There are communities.
There are actually, once we started coming out as being poly, we realized there are so many different
There are Facebook groups.
avenues. There's Facebook groups, and we actually met an amazingly supportive and lovely group of people who we consider family now. They're friends of ours, and it's just you start networking, and once you start meeting
Justin,
people,
Kelly, and Cassie.
Hi guys.
That's right, you guys.
Love you.
But as you start meeting people who are in poly, they'll know people who are poly, and it's kind of just this big network, and you'll you'll find other people. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Yaru Wu, do you guys get misjudged for your relationship? I support it. Thank you. Please pick me.
you.
Just did. Love all your hearts. You're awesome.
All do.
Yes. Sometimes we do. Folks call it out. It's sort of related to the other thing we were saying. On the internet, there are plenty of haters and trolls and whatnot. In real life, sometimes there are, which is harder.
But it's far more rare because people,
Yeah.
when they get you face to face, it's much harder for them to really look at you and say the horrible, hateful things that they would put on a computer
When they
screen.
think they're anonymous.
People hide
Exactly.
behind their computer screens.
And
that's
also,
the thing.
you know, Ken is 6'2". I'm a giant 5'10" with long red hair who wears a kilt a lot of the time.
And I can deadlift the both of them.
It's true.
I don't,
It's pretty bad.
It's,
Boom.
it's seriously.
Boom, gun show right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but that's the thing is that
I mean,
don't be shy about it. Don't be a wilting flower about it. You can be an introvert. That's different.
Yeah.
Be an introvert if you want to be an
But
introvert.
be proud.
But be proud of
Be
who
proud
you
of
are.
who you are. Be confident in who you are, because who you are is pretty great.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
How
How many kids do we have? We have 2, Montana.
Oh, and by the way, someone asked this before and it ran by the chat. I have not adopted them, but I do raise them, and they call me their Danny. They call me Danny. They've occasionally called me Da or Daddy, and that's fine too, but I'm Danny, and that's okay.
Paige M, if this is your dream relationship, and thank you, go do it. There's people out there. Find them.
Yeah. All right.
How is the house set up? It's a mess, mostly.
Yep.
That was, who was that? I missed their name as we went. Marie E. How is the house set up? It's a mess, mostly. We have our sort of bedroom and library. Yes, I've got a library. Be
Yes.
jealous, other book nerds.
We have a good library.
We have a solid library.
It's nice.
It's about 50-50 fantasy and magic and theater books.
I love it. Little man 01012376. Are the men awkward with each other? No, we're awkward with everybody.
everything. Yeah.
Have you seen us
We are
lately?
peak awkward.
Look
up top.
at us, up top. Boom.
There it is.
Nailed it.
Bam.
Yeah.
Here's
I
a
was
good question from Natalie Turkawi. How do you handle money? Partners sometimes have combined bank accounts.
You've
Yeah.
never handled money like that
No.
ever.
Penny
No.
after penny after
Yes,
penny.
ting, 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 ting.
We actually have a joint bank account. He does not have a bank account with us, but we
All
sort
about
of
the Washingtons, baby.
we're a family and we support each other. So when it comes time to pay the rent, we all chip in and pay the rent. When it comes time to pay any other bills, utilities, that kind of thing, we just all chip in for
Grocery
it.
shopping, stuff for the
shopping.
kids, whatever we do,
my,
we do.
Yeah, and my account is far more confusing because of the fact that I run a business. So when you run a business, you have to have this whole kind of different things with taxes and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm my own human when it comes to that. But that's we help each other out. You just got to be
Yep.
sincere about it.
Honest Voice wants to know, bland food or spicy food? Spicy. Bam.
Spicy. I used to be
Yeah,
a bland
spicy.
food guy, but I became spicier.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so let's
Any
see.
Deep Zebra wants to know if we have any tips on coming out as bi.
All right.
Just do it, man.
Oh yeah. Just
I mean,
be
if you
honest.
feel safe, feel safe. Come out to people that that you feel safe with. To your friends, do it slow. You don't have to do anything big. Do what makes you comfortable. If that's what you are comfortable doing, don't lie.
Yeah.
Try not to lie. Try to be as honest and as confident as you can. Is only my advice.
Okay,
and
so we have
there's a community for you.
We have a couple more questions. It's
All
very
right.
sweet. Amber Brown. Hi, Amber.
Amber.
Hi, Amber.
Gosh,
Thank
you
you.
three are cute together.
Aw,
Thank you.
thanks, Amber. You're
Thanks.
cute together too.
Oh, where's
probably.
August? All of you have amazing hair.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
that.
August.
We
I
were
appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
Yes.
Look, because you know why.
You
All
know
right.
what you did.
Hino Piano had mentioned, thank you for talking about this with an open mind. I appreciate it a lot, and a lot of people need support for this particular subject because it is judged easily. We all appreciate you.
We
Well,
appreciate you, Hino.
We really do. And by the way, Hino, I also noticed, asked to hear my singing voice, and I can't sing because all of that is licensed music. They won't like it. But
Wait,
come to
unlicensed.
karaoke.
Wait, there are unlicensed songs.
No,
It's open source.
I'm not singing Happy Birthday. I have a moral obligation not to.
All
Anyways,
right,
come
fine.
to karaoke.
It's a terrible song
Waterbury,
anyway.
Connecticut. Come see it. I'm around. I'd love to do it.
All right.
NT. I have a
NT.
question. Can you go around the circle and say what you like most about the others?
Oh, that's too hard.
Yeah, that takes
That's-
too long. In that it's
I-
so hard to think of.
Okay,
anything.
so my
one.
response was like, "Oh, that's so sweet," and you guys are like, "Nah, that takes."
So that's it. So, go
Yes,
ahead.
we
Would
can
you
do
like
that. You
to
go
s-
first
you wanna
because
go first?
you're
'Cause
honest and
you were the
sincere.
sincere one.
I was the sincere one.
So go
Okay.
ahead.
So what I like most about Ken is how loving and understanding you are, and I guess this would go for both of you. Your
It's
ability
not
to
it's
just
not
put
him.
up with me.
I'm not understanding at all.
But no, you've always been by me 100%, and I love you. And
I love you too.
And that's what I like about Ken.
Oh.
And what I like about Danny is his hair.
That mane.
There we
No,
go.
I think your
Sorry.
creative
Maybe he's
spirit
born with it.
that you're constantly. I'm trying to compliment.
Sorry.
you.
I know.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry. I'm
gosh.
terrible. We are terrible at taking compliments. So,
But I said your creative spirit and how you're always thinking of how to improve your show, and you're just always chasing dreams, and that you never give up on stuff.
No song lyrics.
no song lyrics. But I absolutely love that Ken is just amazing and awesome and funny and hilarious, and I love being with him, and I love spending time with him and debating with him and arguing with him, and just he's a strong human being, and I admire that so much. And about you, you come with me in my absurdity, and you enjoy the things that I enjoy, and you've come to love the things that I love, and I don't expect anybody to do that. And you've made me a better person, and I love that about you.
And I'm going to go real quick because we're getting near the end of time.
Yeah.
But Daniel, I just love your creativity and your brilliance in how you come up with amazing perspectives on things. And Vanessa, I love your tenderness and vulnerability and the joy you have in not always being a total jerk. No,
Not always.
No, I love you.
So
that's it, everybody.
Love, hugs,
Big
love.
hugs. Guys,
Thanks.
I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we are done.
Thank you
So-
so much for watching, and please hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe to BuzzFeed
Video,
which is
it's right
there.
underneath there.
No, it's there.
There.
No,
There?
It's there.
It's in that
It's
one.
there. It's
Wait,
here.
hold on.
Are you a BuzzFeed Video
Left.
subscribe button?
Hit the button.
I know,
Hit the
hit the
subscribe
button.
button, guys.
Do it.
Do it. You'll get
Do
more
it.
awesome
Get to the
Q&As like
chopper.
this. And get to no, you can't. That's not.
No, I can say that.
Okay, that
that's
one's
not a
fine.
thing. Yeah, it's fine.
And
So.
you know.